Coming up on CTV News tonight, we have another look at the eastern suburbs. Welcome to CTV News, I'm Canetta Knight. Following last night's 5.4 aftershock and it being 4 months since February's deadly quake, Pete Smith and Emily Cooper headed out to the eastern suburbs to see what's happening 4 months on.
4 months on, residents in the eastern suburbs are still living almost as they were the day of the quake.
Oh, the street was looking really good. All the people were excited because they could have a shower, flush their toilets, do a bit of washing. And then with the earthquake, it just suddenly up came all the tanks, everything was broken, the water was just flooding around the street, and it was quite scary.
And last Monday's magnitude 6.3 quake has sent a lot of residents back to square one.
I think it's even before square one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so this is Monday week's one?
Yes,
Yeah.
Mondays.
Do you realise it's exactly 4 months today since the February one? It's the 22nd.
Wow,
Yeah.
no.
and have you done nothing but this for 4 months, I suppose?
That's right, yeah.
Just
So,
on
yeah,
and on.
Yeah.
Does it get you down?
This time it has affected me actually, just seeing the devastation and the people, just the uncertainty for them, the excitement of things being a bit normal and then all of a sudden real flat.
Bexley resident Jude Foster had the EQC inspecting her quake-damaged home when Monday's shock hit.
They arranged a time to be here at 1 o'clock, and 1 o'clock it all happened. They carried on with the job, but basically it's another piece of paper that goes towards the previous loss adjuster's assessment, and it's just wait and see. They couldn't give me any answers other than basically the feeling that it's going to be going.
And she says although she's lived in the area for 30 years, last Monday's shake was the decider in her leaving the area.
30 years, it's a long time, it's home, yeah.
And in this house or just the area?
No, in this house, I brought my kids up here and all the neighbours. Rose was here first of all, she's gone now. Long time, a lot of memories, yeah. Yep, back to square one. Because I had been living here, and then Monday's one just broke the camel's back really. It was too big for me. It's just one after the other and just further damage, more damage. And I think whereas the damage previously wasn't visible, it's now visible in my lounge, and I just didn't really want to look at it. I just didn't feel safe.
Final straw.
Final straw, absolutely, yeah.
And Jude says she's not the only one that's choosing to leave.
A lot of people have gone to family. Some people are hanging in there and just waiting to see what happens. But I'm staying with family and friends. I've sort of been to different places throughout the time, so yeah.
Got support around you.
Got support around me, yeah, lovely support around me, and even the city care guys out on the street.
And the people here, they were so excited about their tent going in, and then all of a sudden, as I said, the quake, water just come up, water everywhere, and no tent. So, but yeah, it just split open here, and it was like, oh.
Linda says she thinks last night's aftershock has caused further damage.
Oh, just driving on the streets to see how worse they are, see the silt everywhere, it just makes it a bit more difficult to do sort of what we're doing.
What sort of hours are you putting in a day?
At the moment we're sort of trying to stick to about the 8 hours. We have done way longer, we've sort of done from 7 till 9 at night
And that's
since the quake.
6-7 days?
6.
Yeah. And how's your own place? People forget to ask people like yourself, you know, are you facing stuff at home?
I'm pretty lucky. I live over by the airport, and we've been let off lightly. I
Yeah.
still do have the cracks, still do have the situations. Have quite a few people staying, just helping out where we can. Yeah, their houses aren't too good. Some of them are actually living in the caravan parks. We actually have a couple of guys from Auckland that are driving other tanker trucks for other firms, staying with us as well, just because their accommodation was rather tricky.
But the guys get up and report again.
They're amazing. They get up off at 6 o'clock, back at 8 o'clock at night. It's long days for them, and a lot of their families are in other parts of the country. So yeah.
You do a wonderful job, but that's not much consolation when you come back and see it's all got mucked up again, is it?
Yeah, it's a bit demoralising, but I mean the people in the situations are worse, so I'm really gutted for them.
How big a saviour has it been that it's been a very, very abnormally dry time?
It needs to be a dry time. Yeah, it'll be so much worse. I mean, a lot of people's carpets are just damp, especially here by the river.
Yeah.
And as I say, it makes it more difficult to put the tanks in the ground for them.
Yeah, you're doing a wonderful job, mate, and I don't envy you at all, but I'd certainly admire your stickability.
It's amazing work, really. Yeah.
Okay, I bet you never thought you'd see this in your lifetime.
Never.
No.
Never. And not for so long.
Yeah.
and repairs and cleanups are still going on daily.
They're trying to put tanks in, clear their lines so they can actually flush a toilet, run some water if they've got water, but mostly around here they haven't had water, haven't had power.
And this is a pretty typical street.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
yes.
you're seeing a lot of it. Yeah. Heartbreaking stuff. How are the residents holding up?
Gutted.
Yeah.
Had a wee chat with some in the lane there after Monday. Pretty awful.
Yeah. And have some left, or?
They are.
Yeah.
They are leaving.
This is enough.
Yeah.
Now, what you actually drive a tanker?
I do.
How did you get into that?
Well, my husband had a wee operation on his back, and suddenly it was like, whoa, who's going to do it? Had to jump in, get a licence, and away I went.
Was this at the busy time?
This was before the earthquakes, way back, but I hadn't driven them for quite some time, and with them, earthquakes, back out there.
But you still enjoy it, obviously.
I do, and it's amazing working with all the men. They're great.
Linda and Jude are both looking forward to an announcement from the government tomorrow, and they say decisions need to be made.
Mixed feelings about what I want to hear. Clearly, there's lots of people that want to know about what's happening for the land so they can move on, but I see it as one step in a long process. I don't see it as the answer, it's just one step in the process. So I haven't really, it's too big for me to go there with a definitive answer on that one.
They need to for the people in the houses so that they can move on, have a life.
Yeah. Where's the call got to come from? Who's got to make it?
I think the government. The insurance companies have to step up. They have to, honour their being an insurance company. People have paid their premiums. They need to front up, get in there and say, okay.
Have EQC been active here? Have they seen many people?
I'm not actually sure about that.
Because that seems to be the common thing. Oh, they were here once, we haven't seen them again,
I haven't seen them since I've been on the job.
Right,
No.
Yeah.
And in my own circumstances, I haven't seen them at all either.
Really?
And it's been announced today the Prime Minister will make an announcement tomorrow afternoon on the future of the eastern suburbs. We will have all the details in tomorrow's bulletin. Coming up after the break, more from Christchurch's hardest hit areas. Welcome back. Today in Street Talk, Pete was in New Brighton to ask frustrated residents who they would like to speak to the most about what the future is for their suburbs.
Today marks exactly 4 months on from the February 22 earthquake. I've come down to Brighton. We're going to just ask people how are they coping, and is there one particular person they'd really like to nail down and speak to. As I say, it is the anniversary, 4 long hard months. Didn't get any better at all last night either, did it? So we're still battling through it. But is there someone, one person, that could perhaps unlock the lives of the people down here in Brighton? That's the Street Talk question today. The one person you really want to talk to.
I don't know. I just want to know what's happening. Yeah.
Oh, I suppose up to the government, I suppose.
Most probably my local MP.
Yeah.
Oh, whoever's in charge of Christchurch.
Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah. So far, it seems like he's not doing a whole lot. So.
Does it seem slow to you?
That's what it seems like. What I see on the news, and when I talk to other people, they all say the same thing.
Yeah.
Probably EQC.
Yeah. And how have they been? Have they been around a lot?
And they did a quick inspection, like about the second day after the February one.
Right.
And it had a contents policy, and it's been about 3 months, and they just say it's in a queue to be waiting, and it could be like months. So it's hard because when you're on a benefit, you can't afford to just replace things. You have to wait.
Yeah, how's your house?
Oh, a few cracks and things here and there.
Oh, it's a rebuild.
Yeah. Okay. And have you had notification of that?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, it's got a few minor issues.
Oh, not too bad. No, we've been fairly lucky. Got a few cracks and things, and
so far it's holding on not too bad. It's definitely some cracks since the last big aftershock we had, but not too shabby.
Not too bad.
Okay.
Yeah. They'll have to reclad it.
Yeah.
And heaps of liquefaction and sewage down the back. I couldn't get rid of it last time, so it's actually twice as high.
So how's your land?
Up and down.
Right.
A few humps and bumps.
So you need to know about that, don't you?
Yeah.
So does it frustrate you haven't seen anyone?
well, no, not really, because there's lots of people a lot worse off than what we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How are you coping?
Oh, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Oh, not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Well, very well.
Pretty good.
Oh, struggling.
Yeah. And you worry about it a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
What's
And,
your main worry then?
where we're going to be living.
Right.
Yeah.
So your house is badly affected?
Yeah, we're in Bexley.
So you worried over the land as well?
Yeah.
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 Would you up stakes? You got two young little kiddies here. Would you up stakes and leave or what?
I would like to say that I'm strong enough to stay, and I think I'm just quite stubborn, so I would like to stay. But
so if you get an answer about your house, where would you move to? What would you do?
I don't know.
Yeah. So is it frustrating that no one sort of tells you?
Yeah, very.
Yeah. Have you been to meetings?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. And just left a bit empty?
Yeah. But like everyone has the same questions and.
Yeah. And I suppose it's such a big problem, isn't it, really?
It is.
Yeah. And how are the kids managing?
Not good.
Not good?
No, I have 4,
Oh,
and
really?
the oldest one's a teenager, and she's not doing so good. And,
No. It's a real setback for everyone, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
But then we had another one last night, didn't we?
Yeah, that one didn't wake me up though.
It didn't wake you up?
No, I'm used to them now.
Yeah, that was pretty strong.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
A bit wobbly.
Yeah, but everyone's in the same boat, aren't
Yeah,
they? That's
they're
the
right,
problem.
Oh, I was in bed and shook around a wee bit, you know. Didn't know whether it was the wife turning over or...
Here's Warren Head from Headliners with your weekly business update.
Well, we woke up this morning worrying about the Greeks, and the Greeks have been having a lot of problems over there, and you say, this is pretty remote to us. What does it mean to us? Well, they had a vote of confidence at 9 o'clock our time this morning, so the Greek government survived. And the real background of that is, if it had failed, the austerity measures that they were looking for the Greeks to bring through wouldn't have happened, and that would have led to more world uncertainty. The world equity markets would have reacted badly, and that would have meant that by tomorrow, our markets would have been going south. So there was a sort of a relevancy to what happened to the Greeks today.
So what's happening over the next couple of days to the end of the week?
Well, I think we're going to see a bit of pickup in confidence through Christchurch. The Westpac Bank came out today with their McDermott Miller confidence survey results, and surprisingly it showed that Canterburyans are more optimistic about their jobs than they are in Wellington. More worried about job cuts in Wellington than here. We seem to think, well, we know things are bad on the eastern side of the city, and throughout the city everybody's worried about what their job is going to be like. But there seems to be optimism that new jobs will come out of the rebuild. So that was a big surprise today, so I think the market will take heart from that. Our current account deficit came out today. Boring thing. I've never really worried about deficits. It's down a little bit. Nothing to worry about there. And we didn't take into account all the money that's going to come in from the insurance companies, the reinsurers, sending money back into New Zealand, so that was taken out of the equation. So it's more of the same in that respect. So what are we really looking forward to? We're looking forward to 2 good meetings coming up. The big one for Christchurch is with PGG Wrightson on Monday. It's at 9:30 in the morning. It's at Riggleton Racecourse. Sir John Anderson will chair a special meeting there of the shareholders of PGG Wrightson, and they'll ask them to approve the sale of their finance arm for 102 million to the new Heartland Building Society. So that's going to be the most important meeting in Christchurch this part of the year. The other meeting I'm really looking forward to, Restaurant Brands tomorrow. They own KFC, they own Pizza Hut, they own Starbucks, and they've been doing awfully well. They've had a big increase over the last 3 years in popularity on the stock market, and they deal in all the sorts of things that we love so much, but shouldn't eat so much of, I suppose. But they're going very well. And I guess in that context, I noted today there's a report coming through about food prices. Now, Starbucks and the price of a cup of coffee, I've just never really thought about it when I bought a coffee there. I just knew it was a bit more expensive than anywhere else. But I'm starting to appreciate that coffee is going up in price. You know, this pack here, I'm looking at here, this pack is 16% higher in price than it probably was a year ago. Food is going up, inflation's going higher. So I guess from my point of view, what does that mean for interest rates going forward? Not sure.
So there is a little bit of positivity for Christchurch.
Yes, there is, and I'm pretty taken by this confidence survey. And it's a long report. If people really would like to read it in detail, go to our website. We have a 24/7 business news website, www.headliner.co.nz, and they can have a look at there and read it in length. We'll cover it in Headliner, our normal hard copy edition newspaper as well. And if people would like to get a copy of that, just give us a call on 0800 80 88 98, and we'll send you out a complimentary copy.
Coming up after the break, your local weather. Welcome back. Recent statistics have shown a huge increase in people leaving the country and visitor arrivals dropping. I spoke with Tim Hunter from Canterbury and Christchurch Tourism on City Life about the hit the industry has taken and the future of tourism here.
The aftershocks of last week have been quite a setback for us, particularly in terms of perceptions of the city and is it a safe place to go to? Because we have made a lot of progress since February, and we were really getting some things done. I was very concerned after the February shake that we would lose a lot of our group tours into Christchurch. And although a lot of them are not staying in the city because of the lack of hotel accommodation, we have kept them in Canterbury, which has been fantastic. So, we have a lot of those series group tours that come through regularly, staying in Ashburton or Methven or Kaikoura or even down in Tekapo. And we've practically kept all that business, which has been really good news. The other thing we saw was a really, big reaction from the Australian market post the earthquake in February, where arrivals were down about 40% in March, and that has gradually improved. So, we've come back to about -15.
Okay.
And what worries me now is that not just the aftershocks, but the fact that GNS is talking about the higher probability of, another substantial shake is really not going down well in the Australian market, nor, the two other markets that haven't coped well are Japan and Korea. And so we've just got to deal with that. And I think the most important thing is that we keep tourism strong to the Canterbury region and the South Island, because it's just so important for the economy, here in this part of the world.
So how are you going to do that? How are you going to keep people coming to the South Island?
Well, I think it's the same messaging that this phenomena is very localised to Christchurch, and there's been no damage outside of Christchurch, and we've got a lot of tourism infrastructure right throughout Canterbury, and it's about really talking to travel sellers about if they are going to stay out of Christchurch and not accommodate people here, at least get them into Canterbury and keep their tourism going for the South Island. So one of the big projects we're working on for the summer, and it's really post the Rugby World Cup period, is the concept of the Great South Island Self-Drive, where people come to the South Island, get in a car and have perhaps one of the best holidays of their life, because we've got fantastic driving routes right throughout the South Island. So we've teamed up with the other regional tourism organisations in the South Island to put that together as a substantial campaign, and that'll be quite strongly supported by Tourism New Zealand.
Okay.
So we'll be really working hard in end of October, November to promote that self-drive concept in Australia, just to keep that visitor flow coming through.
The reopening of the new terminal at the Christchurch International Airport, has that helped in any way for tourism?
I think it has. I mean, we've brought through some quite senior travel people for Trends, which is New Zealand's major tourism travel show last month, and they were really impressed. And they were also impressed that we built that amidst all this mayhem in the city and finished it. And it is a fantastic facility. It's getting really good ratings, so I think it's really helpful in terms of making us look like a progressive tourism destination.
That's right, even if there isn't that much going on at the moment. How are the tourism operators going?
I think out of Christchurch, within Canterbury, they're down, but they're not out. I think if they're based in Christchurch, they've got really severe issues. And although this is winter and it's not a high traffic period, if they don't have a return of demand by October, November, it's going to be very difficult for many of them to continue operating.
It has been announced that work to clear a large landslip on the lower section of Clifton Terrace that happened last week will not be carried out until it is safe for contractors to work in the area. The City Council has received a number of calls requesting information about the slip on Clifton Terrace since it occurred as a result of rock wall failure during last Monday's quake. The slip is very unstable and affects a property above, which is being monitored by geotechnical engineers. It is considered too dangerous at this stage to remove slip material from the road. Alternative access is available from Summit Road. Existing portable toilets will be serviced today. Curbside collection of wheelie bins will be carried out tomorrow, Thursday, from the property frontage. All Clifton Hill properties should now have water and should be able to use their toilets. And it's Volunteer Awareness Week, and Christchurch Police have launched the city's newly formed Christchurch City Parks Community Patrol. The extra set of eyes and ears for police will patrol within the 4 avenues area, including outside the perimeter of the city's red zone. Christchurch Police Central Area Commander Inspector Derek Erasmus says volunteers do a wonderful job in working with police, providing an extra presence in our city. The City Parks Patrol has been supplied with a car by City Care, and patrol members are able to call the Police Communications Centre should they see something suspicious which requires a police response. The patrols are now keen to recruit more volunteers. Applicants need a full driver's licence and will need to be security checked by police. If you'd like to find out more about joining the community patrols, please call Constable Steph Harris on 363 7604. That's 363 7604. That's CTV News. I'm Canetta Knight.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.